Hey guys, how y'all doing? So I know it's been a while, and sorry about the small hiatus. Sometimes life just takes over. That's kind of what how things have been for me here. It's very warm in New York. Just as an update, weather always matters when we're talking about fragrances, and I finally came up with the energy and the time to give you guys another review. And this is one that I had in my pipeline for a while to talk about, but I just wanted to study it a bit more thoroughly. But then I realized, it's a fairly simplistic scent, and I don't want to overcomplicate something that I feel is a relatively simple fragrance. And I think it's a little bit it's a little bit overhyped in the sense that, I don't hear so many people talk about it, but the right few people have been really hyping it up. And who am I talking about? Demi Rawling, Jude Rose, basically any hot female fragrance reviewer who, I feel like most guys, right, who are watching fragrance reviews, these fragrance reviews by women, rightfully sometimes, they get they carry more weight, right? Because you're wearing fragrances in part to impress people. But I know most of you guys on my channel kind of appreciate the really honest kind of and thorough breakdown of the scent. So we're talking about Hermes's Eau de Citron Noir, which is it's part of the Eau de Cologne collection that comes in this dark blue transparent bottle. And it's by Christine Nagel, who you guys are familiar with, the in-house perfumer of Hermes. Now, this is a good scent, and actually when I first tried it, I was pretty happy with it. I blind bought it. But the issue is that I think there are better alternatives, and it's a take on the citrus woody fragrance that is a little bit different than most. And I'm not sure that, while it's pleasant, I'm not sure that it's necessarily the best way to do citrus or the best way to enjoy citrus for me, and I think for many others. So let me get it on and tell you guys about it. And the more you wear it, the more I think you might identify with what I'm going to be talking about. So yeah, the reason why I really was happy with this, when I first tried it, is off the bat. In the opening, it's a very refreshing scent, and let's just kind of list the notes because there are a few, just the notes and accords. It's basically a lemon with a black tea accord, and this also contains guaiac wood. So pretty simple, at least in terms of the notes they present to you. Pretty simple breakdown. So yeah, you get it's as if you cut open a citrus fruit, in the opening. That's how it comes across. It's very, it's sour, but it's bright, it's strong, it's fresh, it's juicy, it's mildly sweet, and it has depth around it, and it feels like it's not really an eau de cologne, but it feels more like an eau de toilette, and it has a body and depth, and I think those are the woody notes underneath it that are giving it that support. But over time, I think that you lose this refreshing quality, and it ends up being a bit of just a darker scent overall. Now it is still a citrus, predominant scent, but it's darker in the sense that it to me, I almost thought, before I even kind of looked at the notes, I thought that there might be, and there still might be, that this was a vetiver heavy fragrance, because it has a similar sort of dry and hot and smoky feel to it that I often describe with the note of vetiver. If you want to truly experience that kind of smell, you try something like a Nishane's Sultan vetiver, and you get a blast of that, right? Actually, it's interesting. I think that scent even feels more refreshing than this, because there's something about this mix of the real sourness of the scent with the smokiness that gives it, that just kind of muddies it up a little bit, and makes the overall scent not as, uplifting. Citrus also too is kind of has a floral nuance, and is somewhat sweet, like I mentioned before. So it kind of feels like a citrus rind, a little bit too sour for me. Then you have, I think, as you get into the scent, much of it is really this tea accord, and I think that it's a pretty accurate, accurate note here. You really have to smell it to experience it, but I think tea is really the best way to describe the smell that you're getting here. And I'm not sure, I know tea fragrance, there are a lot of tea fragrances, and they have their fans, but I'm not sure that it's, for me, the best kind of accord in a scent that you want to be wearing. So yeah, this really feels like, it really, really does smell like a lemon black tea. And now I never really planned to really describe it that way, but now that I smell it again, and as I'm talking about it, really is a lemon black tea, right? So you brew the strongest kind of, lemon black. When I say lemon black, it could be a lot of different things, but just a black tea, because of it has a bitterness to it. Then you add in the lemon, right? And it's that kind of blend that you get here. So it kind of, yes, you can wear it. This is kind of a warmer weather scent, but I prefer things that are more refreshing. And let me just give you a few more alternatives from the same house. You have, I think, Terre d'Hermes Eau Très Fresh is actually better if you're a citrus fan. I think it's just so much more refreshing. And I had a review in the past where I thought that was overhyped too, but I still think that's, for the people who want that kind of citrus experience, I think it's a better choice than this. Then you've got also, if you want more of this kind of interesting mix of bright and dark notes, you can go with Lalique's Encre Noir Sport, which I think is the best of this kind. And that adds a watery facet that this fragrance doesn't have. This fragrance kind of feels more like I said, you cut up the citrus fruit, it kind of dries out, sours up. You also kind of, if it has a dryness, like it makes you think of branches and shrubs, and you sort of break that and add it to the mix, and so it's definitely woody, and that's really because of this guaiac wood note that I see more often in kind of winter heavier fragrances, where it works so well, right? It almost adds like a coffee-like nuance, but here it's different. Here creates a tea accord. Yeah, it is nice, but it is kind of, I don't know, to me it kind of annoyed me a little bit wearing it. I felt like I didn't need it. It was kind of, light in that sense, and also I kept thinking it could be better, it could be more projecting and exciting, but it doesn't have that, and it's still a good scent, so worth trying. But this is where price comes into play. Like if this were like a $40 fragrance and on discounters for the 50 ml, I think it's totally worth trying, and there are going to be people who like it, but for the price, like 60 plus for 50 mLs and discounted, I'm not sure that I'd want to pay that, and I don't necessarily recommend this. I don't recommend it as a blind buy for that reason. If it's a $30 fragrance, I would say blind buy it, right? Most things that are decent or better. But yeah, this one, not so much, yeah, let me know. I haven't tried others actually from the line, which are also very popular. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. Let me know if you've tried this. I'm curious if people have kind of similar thoughts as me. So yeah, I'll be back with some more reviews, and I'm thinking of reviewing MFK's Amiris Homme, another very popular. It's one that Jeremy has talked about, in recent times. I think it's one. It's a kind of a masculine go-to fragrance from the house. Let me know if that would be interesting, or if there are any others. You guys used to kind of make suggestions, and I tried a few of the things that you've suggested. One thing that came up recently as I was looking at comments was the house of Lorenzo Villoresi, the Italian maker in Firenze, and yeah, so I mean, I think that brand looked really interesting, and the offerings there, and they're on Fragrance Net as well. So yeah, let me know if you guys, if there are any from that house too that you think are good, because I've been looking at a few of them: Yerba Mate, Aura Maris. There's the Theseus, like a vetiver scent, and then a couple others. So yeah, hopefully you have some suggestions, and I'll see you in the next reviews. Bye.